Alright, starting in with the second, well, continuing with the second mission of the Polish campaign in Theater of War. So I guess... Right, I'm going to be conducting a counterattack in this one, I think. Okay, they have an artillery battery on the heights in order to cover the roads leading to Warsaw. So I need to clear off the artillery battery and then defend against German counterattacks. So I have a little bit of ability to customize my force. $480 points to spend. Do I want more tanks or more infantry? Anti-tank rifle squad might not be a bad idea to... But yeah, might as well grab them up. That'll be all the infantry that's available. So I just want to pick through what tanks are available. Okay, no point getting that one. That I'm expecting enemy tanks. That could be useful. Vickers EJW. FT-31 is machine gun only. At FT-17, World War I tank. Still a few of them being used in early World War II. 7TP, of course, the classic Polish tank. They're sort of a primary tank that technically qualified as a tank. The TKS is a tankette. Get one of those. These anti-tank guns would be really useful if I was on the defensive, but they're not particularly mobile. Yeah, take that FT-17. Oh, do I not have any room for anything else? I guess not. Okay, these are reserves here. They should presumably become available at some point during the battle. So, yeah. I have no particular arguments with the force I've selected here. This 47mm gun has very similar performance in penetration, at least, as this 20mm gun. Slightly better. At long ranges, anyway. Somewhat worse at short ranges, actually. Anyway. I did actually find one of the books I've got on the invasion of Poland laid out a typical Polish infantry division and a typical German infantry division. Both seem to be around 17,000 men in all. Because during one of the command ops battles that I fought earlier, I was trying to find this information, couldn't find the right page. Polish infantry division, about 16,500. German infantry division, about 17,000 men overall. About 320 light machine guns in the Polish division. 378 light machine guns in the German infantry division. So the Germans have slightly more light machine guns. And they are better light machine guns, the MG34, versus what the Polish have is the uh, WZ-20 something. It's a license-built version of the American BAR. Actually, a much better upgrade of the BAR than the Americans ever did. Actually gave it a pistol grip and a much better bipod. But it is still a BAR, meaning it's not going to be quite a match for the MG34. Polish Infantry Division has 132 heavy machine guns. I believe that's sort of Vickers, sort of think World War I type machine gun. And then the German Infantry Division, 138 heavy machine guns. That'll basically be MG34s mounted on tripods. Overall, once set up, the MG34, of course, is going to be more mobile, but since it's lighter, but the firepower isn't too far off. 46 millimeter mortars. The Polish have 81 of those per division. Germans 93 of those per division. 81 millimeter mortars. Polish have 20 of those per division. Germans have 54 of those per division. Anti-tank rifles. Polish 92. Germans 90. And so far they're about on par with each other. When we get to anti-tank capability is where we really start seeing a difference. Oh, the battle is loaded in. But yeah, as far as 37mm anti-tank guns, both the Polish and the Germans at this time, their anti-tank guns came 37mm. The Polish have 27 of those compared to the Germans' 75 of them. So significant discrepancy in anti-tank capability. As far as anti-personnel capability, maybe the Polish are a little bit behind, but not drastically. But as far as anti-tank capability, there's a wide gulf. One thing that does maybe make up for it is the Polish 75mm artillery guns can dual purpose as anti-tank guns. They do have anti-tank ammunition produced for them, and they have 30 of those per division. But yes, enough quoting from... Yeah, this is... I was just reading from The Polish Campaign 1939 by Stephen Zaloga and Victor Medej. That information is on page 45. But now that the battle's loaded in, I should start fighting it. Right, I have the 4 tanks that I selected in the pre-battle setup there. The pre-battle force selection. And I have 3 infantry squads, where the objective is over here. This hill, where the artillery is going to be. So what have I got in terms of approaches? The hill here, hill here. If I approach that way, they can already see me. Well, for sure as soon as I exit the tree line, and that's a fair amount of open ground to cover. Can maybe get a little bit closer going up and over the hill here. I'll want to, if I decide to do that, then I'll want to get everyone all lined up, approaching in line. I think tanks leading. And then I'll stop at the same time, right at the crest of the hill. Try to get fire superiority, get the infantry moving down the hill, and up to actually capture the artillery positions. But that seems like a fairly risky move. I'll mostly be fighting toe-to-toe with them on equal terms, which is not what I want. Okay, yeah, that's not going to work. I was thinking maybe try to flank around the lake, see if maybe I could use the trees as cover, but no, or as concealment. But no, the trees aren't nearly dense enough to provide effective concealment, and that's just going to open up my flank to enfilading fire the whole trip around the lake, so that flanking option isn't really an option. I'm not really seeing a lot in the way of covered approaches to this. I think my only real option is try to get as close as I can, which I think means going up this hill here. And I don't think there's, apart from the reverse slope of this hill, and, well, this hill if I can get to it, but that's a long trek. Well, yeah, there's some dead ground here. Yeah, so sort of this reverse slope area here that provides some dead ground I might be able to move along. I think the dead ground seems to end around here. It's still behind some trees, but... And of course I have no idea what other German positions there are besides just that hill. They might be occupying this hill over here, or positions across the lake here, or maybe even that hill. I have no idea. I have no intelligence on that. Okay. Yeah, I think I don't have a lot of options other than to sort of line up and push straight in via the shortest route I can find, which I think is going up over this hill here. I want to make sure all my tanks crest at the same time so they can't be knocked out piecemeal one at a time. Yeah, I'll have the tanks crest first and start laying down covering fire. The infantry try to rush down this valley as quickly as they can. This is not going to work. There's no way this plan is going to work. I have to have better options. Maybe resistance will turn out to be lighter than I expect. Or maybe I was supposed to be able to grab more troops from the force selection screen. Okay, I don't see what else I can do though. There's no a sliver of trees here, but that's too narrow a frontage to... Can I get troops along? Maybe. Gotta offer better odds than charging out across the open. A little bit of concealment along this route. Not a lot, though. Any angle as I can get on the hill that are likely to be less defended than others. It's a pretty round hill. I was thinking if the hill was longer on one end than at the other, let's say, like, are there any examples in this map? Not really, these are all pretty round hills. But, like, imagine the hill was this shape here instead of this shape. What I'd want to do is attack along the narrow end, because that's reduces the amount of defenses that any defender, the amount of defending fire that defenders up on the hill can throw at me, where I am presumably still able to fire along my entire line. And also, the hill will probably have a shallower slope up that way, reducing the defender's advantage a little bit. Okay. I want to... I have 4 tanks, 3 infantry squads. How would I conduct an attack down this lane? And is there... There may not be quite enough room to adequately deploy all my forces. I might say have a double column of tanks. Yeah, attack up in 2 columns with each infantry squad kind of in successive lines, one squad, second squad, third squad, and have them just sort of bounding forward over each other like that. That does... If it turns out that these woods don't offer enough concealment for me to get closer than would have on this hill, though, I will find myself still under fire from the top of the hill, but without being able to bring as many guns to bear because I'll be on a narrower frontage. Whereas this is, you know, an attack out in the open, but at least I can attack fully fanned out with being able to bring all my weapons to bear, which is better. Does this offer enough concealment? I'm not convinced it does. It is pretty sparse concealment there. Yeah, I think if I go down this route, they're gonna see my tanks popping in and out of trees one at a time, and they're gonna get knocked out piecemeal. I think my best chance is to hit them with all my guns at once. Yeah, okay. That's the plan I'm adopting here. If this doesn't work out, then maybe on some future playthrough I will try this route here. But I don't really see any other options than that. Or, you know, maybe I could try to maneuver my forces around through these woods here. Maybe they might get a little bit of concealment from the tree lines here, while still being able to lay some fire on the enemy there. It does extend the distance my infantry have to travel a little bit. I'm gonna go with that plan. We've got some dead ground to move along here. So yeah, I think I'll send my tanks down here in column. Until they're arrayed more or less about here behind the trees. Then I'll have them turn right into line and take up firing positions on that hill. What I'll do with the infantry I think the infantry will follow the tanks in and... In fact, to be on the safe side, I should have... You know, I shouldn't just send tanks blindly through woodland. No, let's, if I'm doing this, let's commit to doing it right. So... get well behind the ridge. And have one squad fanned out in line in front of the tanks, just to make sure, just because, you know, having the tanks drive forward blind in dense woodland is probably not the best idea. And actually, let's have these infantry deploy on the flanks as guards, flank guards there. Enough formations I get. Okay, so yeah, these guys will march ahead in line to protect the tanks. I would like it if I had an echelon right and an echelon left formation for the flank guards, but I guess a wedge will do. The tanks will drive forward in column. Once they are as far forward as I want, they will turn right. The infantry will wheel right with them. All line up behind the ridge And once everyone's lined up and in position, we'll crest the ridge at the same time, hoping the trees provide some concealment so that the enemy has a harder time spotting us than we do spotting them. Open up with everything we got at once, have the infantry start bounding forward in the open with covering fire from the tanks, and take those guns. Yeah, that's the plan. That's what I'm going to go with. Okay, let's get started. You get into line, you get into wedge, you get into wedge. This, think... Oh, wait. There we go. The map does not extend as far to the left as I would like. There we go. Okay, so those two squads are going to overlap a little bit. Guys, hold up for a moment. The infantry get out ahead of you. Okay, I should actually give them an opportunity to form up. I'm gonna do this, let's do this right. Why aren't you moving? The fence, go around it. You back up a little bit. Maybe you need access to that gate there. There we go, they're figuring it out. Knew you guys could do it. One thing, like, again, unfair to Theater of War that I keep comparing it to Combat Mission, but this is actually one area that it wins out. Like, overall, I do feel that Combat Mission is more realistic, but it doesn't model infantry formations quite as well as, or at all, as Theater of War does. Theater of War actually models infantry formations, and modern infantry do fight in formations. It's not all scattered about. I mean, it is scattered about. As you can see, there's a fairly extended order of formations, but there's still formations. Yeah, the developers of Theater of War weren't thinking in terms of competing with Combat Mission. I'm sure they just wanted to make a good game. And they succeeded. Okay, these flank guards can't get as far out to the flank as I would like because of the edge of the map, which also probably means that they're not really needed to guard that flank. So they're mainly there for roleplay. No, I guess the flank is protected by a gigantic river. I didn't think of that, but okay. So they're not actually needed, those ones. A little bit of spacing between these vehicles. Far forward. Get you about that far forward. The infantry then. See, did ground extend that far? Yeah, okay. What's going to happen when we turn, I think, this squad is going to go from being the center squad to the left squad. This is going to go from being the right squad to the center squad. And this is going to go from being the left squad to the right squad. A little further forward. A little bit behind him. And yeah, that's probably about right. And about, yeah, that'll be about right. Yeah. It is about the edge of the dead ground there. But they don't seem to have spotted us yet. Get your right turns. I hope this works. I don't have any artillery or anything, no mortars. I got nothing but these 4 tanks and these 3 infantry squads. Wait, what? Oh crap, is my... Well, that's not good. That's definitely foiling my plan a little bit. Okay, well, you guys are about to be defending out in the open, so lie down if you please. Oh, and do make sure you are facing where the enemy is going to be coming from. You still have not reached bottom line. Okay, I guess this is... Ah! Stop! Stop, 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 stop. Don't take initiative. Is moving from an attack line to a defense line. Actually, I should do some armor angling, shouldn't I? That's actually a relevant concept prior to APFSDS. Do you have a shot? Oh, that's a Panzer I. It poses a threat to my infantry. Indeed, it's taken out one of my infantry. Okay. Okay, I think I probably want to adjust these guys' formation. No. Did I turn their line or put them into wedge? I want them to continue crawling, though. Well, okay, dash for a little bit to reform the line. Yeah, the enemy has conducted a bit of a spoiling attack here. I went into this on the assumption that I was going to be the attacker. Lie down. Oh, and I've lost my TKS tankette. My 7 TP, I have two 7 TPs, but this one, his turret is down. Do you have a bow machine gun? You do not. So the turret being down... Oh, you do have a bow machine gun. Oh, well, you're out of action now, in any case. I was thinking having a bow machine gun meant you could still be in action against enemy infantry despite having the turret knocked out. Okay. Need to put this lot into action against the enemy infantry. Oh, the moment I get them up, they're going to start getting cut down by the enemy tanks. I am down 3 tanks, 75% of my tanks, and I haven't even conducted the attack yet. In fact, I don't think I'm going to be able to conduct the attack. I did inflict at least some heavy casualties on their infantry, and knock out one of their tanks. Did I get anyone else? Do you have a tread knocked out? Well, I think that's about it. All I managed to achieve. Okay, okay, that's enough. Want your armor angled a little bit to increase its effectiveness. A little bit too much side showing, though. Does Theater of War take angle of impact into account for armor? No, it's good practice to get into anyway. To angle the armor for World War II vehicles. Armor angling isn't going to make much of a difference in modern warfare, because... I mean, it does still technically have an impact on APFSDS, it's just so minor as to be basically irrelevant. Oh, wait, that's not what I meant. Let me take out that Panzer II. Well, we got a mobility kill at least. No. Maybe even... Okay, yeah. Crew is down. Okay, don't worry about the Panzer I. For the time being. I mean, you will need to worry... My infantry need to worry about the Panzer I. But, let's take out the threat that's dangerous to... Oh, bugger. The gun is down. Okay, but reinforcements have arrived. Excellent. And they're all infantry. None of the AT guns or the tanks that were part of my reserves. Okay, do any of you have an anti-tank rifle? Oh, here's the, yeah, there's that Polish BAR, differing from the American BAR in it has pistol grip, and a much better bipod than what the American BAR has. Does not have a quick change barrel, though. Polish didn't think that was important at the time, but it does mean that sustained fire still is not really... not as capable of sustained fire as, say, the Bren would be. Okay. The enemy still has 2 tanks active there. And this tank here was, until the gun got knocked out, my only anti-armor weapon in my force. But now, since this gun has been knocked out, I have no anti-armor weapons. So I might as well run away. Running away doesn't really seem to be something you can do in this game, as far as I know. No retreat or surrender. So without any anti-armor weapons, there's not much I can do against the enemy armor. I need to skedaddle and maybe re-engage if I can find a group of infantry somewhere that doesn't have any armor around them. It shouldn't be too difficult to find. Most German units are infantry divisions. But I think the most important thing at the moment would be rescuing these squads. Oh, and these crew members here. Run. I don't think there's any... I don't have any anti-tank grenades. WZ-28, that's what it was. Yeah, I lose. The sensible thing for me to do at this point would be to give up. Pull my troops back, try to rescue as many of them as possible. Keep as many of them out of German hands as possible. Still good, armed, motivated troops. It'd be a shame to lose them to the German tanks when I have nothing that I can use to take out the German tanks at the moment. I was expecting to be attacking, so I didn't bring any anti-tank guns. If I knew I was going to be defending, I would have brought some anti-tank guns. Okay, in any case, I guess, spread out. Not quite an all-round defense, but it's something. I guess I'll start... Oh, well, we can't move back very far, can we? Oh, no, that tank is blocking the retreat of... At least this lot out. Yeah, there's not really any point in bounding. I have no covering fire I can lay down. It'll be effective against what the enemy's got. We all retreat at once. Hopefully they can't shoot. They can't get us all down. Right? Oh, hang on, here's an idea. No, there's no point in remanning that tank. I knocked out the treads and the turrets. See, that made Swiss cheese out of that turret there. No. Seem to have done some significant damage to the German infantry. I'm gonna... Yep, okay. It's all of it out of action. Interesting that an infantryman is considered to have the necessary skills to crew a tank. It's kind of a very different and unrelated skill set. People change MOSs. Maybe you receive tank training at some point. Of course, then again, Panzer II is knocked out, so didn't actually have a chance to drive it anyway, so maybe he's just, popping in for a peek. Okay, run! Run away! Retreating needs to be an option. There's no way I should have to fight to the last man. Never fight to the last man, except under very, very exceptional circumstances. Maybe if you're surrounded and you knew the enemy took no prisoners. Alright, enemy infantry we can fight effectively. Alright, I want you guys to turn around. Form a fighting line for a rear. I was just never gonna win this mission, was I? Okay, these guys are getting picked off. Alright. Lie down to maximize your survivability here. Alright. Probably no point in pretending that the enemy's coming from the right. Everyone get down. Get in those bushes there. Oh, they're reorienting a little bit more than I thought they would. Okay. Enemy armor may be pretty unscathed, but I've inflicted some pretty heavy casualties on their infantry. Okay, we fended off their infantry, but at this point it kind of seems like there's not much I can do but wait for their tanks to kill me. Seem to be at an impasse. The enemy tanks don't want to advance without infantry support, which is prudent. They don't know all of what I have. If they knew I had nothing that could take them out, they might be more confident. But yeah, I can't attack them because I have nothing that can hurt them. I have no armor-piercing weapons. So what do I do? Can I expect any further reinforcements? There's no game mechanic, as far as I can tell, to say I give up. Either retreat or surrender. There's no exit zones. Because clearly the right move to make right now would be to retreat. I am not capable of fulfilling the objective. My forces are in imminent danger if they stay here. But there's no game mechanic to retreat. We are at an impasse. He has a French-style helmet. Okay, I am going to save here. And end battle. So that, okay, no, that just... Okay, well, canonically that's where the battle ends. So I'm going to stop the video here. But I will then go back and play through the rest of the battle so that I can get to the next mission. So, yeah. But any reasonable commander would have retreated at that point. Like, there's nothing else to do. There's no point in attacking. I can't hurt them. So, yeah.